Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. This is my gameplay series where I test my decks against each other to get better at deck building, fix the decks and find their weaknesses, and get better at Magic the Gathering in general. I appreciate you stopping by the channel. Please subscribe, throw some likes around, all that jazz. As normal, we've already gone through the first 3 turns before recording so that we can get past all of the play of lands and passes. We're starting here on turn 4 for match 3 of Ramos Dragon Engine, Legendaries, Daleks, and Dragons. So let's see what happens. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Going to play a Gavany Township. All I've done over here is play some lands and a Kadama's Reach to ramp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play Ramos Dragon Engine. It's a flying 4/4. Whenever I cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Ramos for each color in that spell. And then remove 5 counters from Ramos to make double Wooburg, but you can only do that once per turn. Nothing else we can do, we're going to pass turn. Untap over here on Jensen Carthalion, the legendary deck. It's done a little better these last couple games, but it's done better these last few games, but I definitely still need to tweak it. All I've played so far is a Chromatic Lantern. I'm going to play a Deep Cap Glade for turn, tapping 3 to play a Decanter of Endless Water, no maximum hand size, and taps for 1 of any color. I will tap the Chromatic Lantern and the Decanter to play Jensen Carthalion Druid Exile. A 2/2 that says when I cast a multicolor spell, scry 1. If that spell was all colors, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. You can also filter 5 mana through Jensen to make Wooburg. But that's all we got, so we're going to pass turn. Over here to the Dalek Emperor. We played some lands and the Candles of Leng, which says pay 4 and tap it, reveal the top card of your library. If it shares the name with a creature or if a card in your graveyard, you put it in the graveyard. If it doesn't, you draw a card. I'm going to play a Rogue's Passage for turn, and then heck yeah, we will play this top deck. Maskwood Nexus. Creatures you control are every creature type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Pay 3 and tap it to make a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with changeling. Really good to help get the Dalek Emperor out quickly. Going to go ahead and pass turn though. Untap over here with the Dragon deck. All we were able to do is just crack a Mirrored Landscape. Draw for turn. I'm going to tap 3 to play a Decanter of Endless Water, and I will play a Is It Boilerworks, bouncing this island back to my hand. The Boilerworks taps for blue and red, but it comes in tapped. 2 mana left, really nothing I can do with it, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and pass. The problem with the Dragons and the Daleks is both commanders are higher mana cost. I mean, so is Ramos. We just happen to get some ramp out there. Really, Jensen is the easiest one with 2 mana to cast, but you also have to have Legendaries in order to really take advantage of the deck. So here we are on turn 5, starting with Ramos. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I will play another Swamp. I will tap 2 for an Arcane Signet. I will pay 6 to cast the Conclave Sledge Captain. It's a 4/4 with backup 1, backup 1, backup 1. It's got trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Backup 1 states, when this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If that's another creature, it gains the following ability till end of turn. Each backup ability triggers separately. This would be great if I did have 3 different creatures out already that were all ready to attack. However, we don't, so we're just going to put all 3 counters onto Ramos. He gets the Conclave Sledge Captain's ability till end of turn, thankfully, which is whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many counters on it. He is currently a 7/7. Pretty crazy, so we're going to go ahead and move to combat. Everyone is at full life. No one is really the threat except for now I am. So we're going to swing 7 commander damage at, I don't really know, Daleks, I think. However, that means we put 7 counters on it, which makes the total 10 counters total, because it already had 3. And I'm going to go ahead and remove 5 counters from Ramos, putting him down to 5 counters, to get double Wooburg, 5 of which I will use to play a Gilded Lotus, and then 4 of which I will use to play, Gilded Lotus says tap it for 3 mana of any one color. Then I'm going to play Path of the Animist, search for a library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. It does have Will of the Planeswalker, but we're not playing a plane chase game, so it's fine. I'm going to look for 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped. Whatever I find first, basically. Basically, for the basic lands. Okay, I got an island and a mountain to my battlefield tapped. Now, really, all we just did with that was ramp a whole bunch. And we only have 2 cards in the hand now, but it was also a little bit of deck thinning and stuff, and so I think it was well timed. Plus, we still have 5 counters on it, making it a 9/9 flyer. We're going to pass turn. Ramos pulling ahead nicely. For the time being, like I said, we got a crap ton of mana, but we don't really have much to play with. And if we don't get some card draw or something, it's going to be useless. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to play Dictate of Heliod. Creatures you control get +2/+2. Now Jensen is a 4/4. Unfortunately, it's a monocolored spell, doesn't trigger his ability, and we don't want to go swinging just yet. Pass turn. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Play a Shire Terrace. You know what? I think I'm going to tap 1 and tap the Shire Terrace, sacrifice it to search for a basic land card, put on the battlefield, tapped. And then pay 3, tap the Mastwood Nexus to make a Dalek. Well, actually, no, to make a 2/2 Changeling, basically. 2/2 Shapeshifter with Changeling, so essentially it is a Dalek, because it has Changeling. And Maskwood Nexus also says it's a Dalek. That is all we can do, however, we're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play an island for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To play Lozan, Dragon's Legacy. It's a 4/2 flyer. Whenever you cast an adventure or dragon spell, she deals damage equal to its mana value to any target that's not a commander. That's all we got. We're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Alright, so I'm going to tap 3 and a white to play the Abzan Battle Priest. It's a 3/2 that says Outlast. I pay a white, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. You can only do that as a sorcery. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has lifelink, very important. Then I will tap 1, 2, and green to play Fertilid. It comes in with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. It says 0/0, so it's now 2/2. I can pay 2 and remove a counter from it to search for target player, search for a basic land card. Then finally, I'm going to tap the Gilded Lotus for 3 white, the Bivouac for green, and Gavany Township to activate its ability to put a counter on each creature I control, which means they all now have lifelink thanks to the Abzan Battle Priest. I only have 1 card in hand, however, so we definitely need to get some draw spells going if we have any over here. But I am going to move to combat. These, of course, have Summoning Sickness. These do not. I will send Ramos Dragon Engine at you, because it's a flyer and you're not going to sacrifice your flyer. You might, who knows. And then Conclave Sledge Captain at you. So this is a 5/5 with lifelink, and this is a 10/10 with lifelink. If you block it, your commander dies and you don't have enough to recast it. So I guess you'll just take the 10. Oops, darn it. And then gain 10. And then you are probably going to take the 5. You'll gain 5. Holy crap, look at that. Love to see it. Way to go, counters. That's all we got. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. Actually, at my second main phase, I will tap Arcane Signet for a white to put a counter on Abzan Battle Priest, making it a 5/4. Just give it a little bit extra oomph. And pass turn. We're going to untap over here. Upkeep, draw. 1, 2, 3 to play Phyrexian Arena. Beginning of your upkeep, lose 1 life and draw a card. Then 1, 2, and 3 to play Sisay Weatherlight Captain. 2/2. She gets +1/+1 for each color among other legendary creatures, other legendary permanents you control. So she's getting +2/+2 off of Jensen. And you can pay Wooburg to search your library for a legendary permanent with converted mana cost less than Sisay's power and put that card in the battlefield. That's really all we can do over here, though, so we're going to pass turn. Ramos counters definitely pulling ahead. Who knows what's going to happen, though? Nobody knows but the Shadow. That's an old reference, and I never watched that show, because that's even older than me. But I remember the crappy movie they made. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3 to play a Moon Glove Changeling. I can pay our black to give it Death Touch until end of turn. It's a 2/2. Regrettably, that's really all I can do. Don't have enough mana to do anything else, so we're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to probably make ourselves a target with this, unfortunately, but we got to try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to play Fiery Emancipation. Enchantment. If a source I control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead. It's definitely going to make us a target. However, you don't have flying anymore, and we do have a commander. Now, if you swung back with everything, though, that's 10 right there. 15, 20, 23. That's super, super close. However, let's go for it. Let's go for broke. Swinging a 4/2 at you. It is commander damage, which means it's actually 12. How you like that smack? Alright, you gained all that life. I took a bunch of it back. There's no way we don't die before our next turn. And that's on us. But really, with the Fire Emancipation out, you gotta take a swing. So we're gonna pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I'm going to tap this for 3 any color, doesn't matter. We'll play Magistrate Scepter. We'll say it was 3 green. Pay 4 and tap it to put a charge counter on the Scepter. Tap it to remove 3 charge counters from Magistrate Scepter, take an extra turn after this one. I will then tap a green and 1 other to play the instant Tribute to the Wild. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact or enchantment. You're going to sacrifice to countervent this water, obviously. You probably will do the same, actually, and you'll get rid of the candle. Didn't really help matters much, but it's there. I can tap this to put a counter on you. Oh, but it does tap it, so I have to tap it to do that, which means, sorry, these are untapped, actually. Gosh darn it. So now that can't swing. So is that what I want to do right now? It's probably not what I want to do, sorry. So take that back down, that up. I will tap 4 and tap this to put a charge counter on it in the hopes that maybe we can get extra turns, do some crazy real damage. But now here's the thing. Okay, obviously we want to swing there because we kind of have to. Well, we don't have to. We can leave up our blocker. If we leave Ramos up, we did play a green spell, so Ramos does get a counter. So now it is an 11/11 in the air. So if we leave that up to block with, we don't have to worry about commander damage. Now, granted, Lozan would kill us, but we would kill Lozan, so it would kind of be a net negative on that. But of course, they are down, so we are swinging. We just don't really want to swing the biggest hit, unfortunately. Well, wait a second. I wasn't thinking. Actually, I really wasn't thinking. They already have 10 damage from us. That's lethal commander. Darn. Yep, see? That's what I'm talking about. That's why I do this channel, to try and not make stupid mistakes like that in a real game against friends and people on streams online. And make myself look stupid, but yeah, gotta punish, right? Boom. You're gonna take 13, 23. You're dead. Boom. Sad, but you did it yourself. You should have just left up the commander as a deterrent and then played creatures next turn. Live and don't learn, as we always used to say in high school. So we're gonna pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. We have. We're gonna take a damage, draw a card, then draw a card for turn. I'm going to play the Rockfall Veil. Always say that wrong. I will tap 2 for an Arcane Signet. Of course, it's colorless, so we don't get any triggers off of that. Well, shoot. And I have a bunch of instants in my hand that can protect me, so we have to hope that I actually remember to play them and pass turn. I'm going pretty quick, so I'm not trying to, so I'm wondering, hopefully I'm not making drastic mistakes other than that foolish attack. We're going to untap over here, upkeep, draw. We'll play Sulphurous Springs. So we're going to tap all of these, and it costs 2 less to cast because of affinity for Daleks. We're going to play the Dalek Emperor, 6/6. Other Daleks have haste. We're going to combat to trigger his villainous, nefarious choice. Each opponent can sack a creature they control or let me make a 3/3 Dalek with menace. Do you want to sacrifice a creature? You know what? You're not really concerned. You're going to say no. So I make that. You only have 2. You're going to say no. So I make a Dalek. We're going to move to combat. Well, flyer is the scary part, but they've got a lot of stuff on the ground, and they have enough to block. I think actually we kind of want to wait and see if we can build up bigger army. The Dalek Emperor is going to pass. Might not be a good idea, but that's what I would do. I don't like the odds. I want to get more. I want more! I'm tapping to turn 7 or 8 over here. Upkeep and draw. And we'll tap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to play the Elite Scale Guard. 2/3, whenever it enters the battlefield, bolster 2. Choose a creature with the lowest toughness among creatures you control and give it 2 counters. That would be the Fertilid. So it will now be a 5/5. And whenever a creature you control with a counter on it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. Very cool. And yeah, I'll go ahead and tap 4, tap this to give it a counter. Sorry, so this is a white spell, so Ramos will get 1 counter on it. Yes, actually, I forgot about Conclave Captain. So we did 13 damage. So 7 and 13 is actually 20, and then we played a thing. So it's actually a 21 counters on it right now with a base 4/4. So it is a 25/25 flyer that is instantly lethal commander damage on whoever we want to send it at. I will move to combat, swing it at you. Obviously, you've already got. It's just way more than enough to kill you with commander damage. Kaboom! And we gain 20 some life, 25 life. We are up to 68. Hot dang. Technically, we probably could have swung with these ones as well. They're pretty much big enough to, destroy and get through, but that's fun. We got the flyer. All we got to do is wait. Now, of course, they do have answers in their hand. We don't know that. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn. We're going to untap over here. We're going to take a damage and draw a card, and then draw a card for our turn. Oakley dokley. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3 to play Mortify on Ramos Dragon Edge. Destroy target creature or enchantment. We're going to play Sultai Charm to draw 2 cards and then discard a card. We'll get rid of Tiny Bones joins up, but I still can't attack because we're not getting through. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn. Back over here and see here's where, well, we still have to do it 2 more times. Untap, upkeep, draw, Undergrowth Stadium, tapping for 3 green, 1, 2, 3, and then the commander tax to recast Ramos Dragon Engine. Tap 4, tap this, put a counter on it. We can take an extra turn next turn and hopefully do something. Now again, we don't have any cards in hand. We're not getting any card draw, so that is going to be an issue, and that's an issue of the deck. Should probably take out a couple counter-based cards and add in a few extra draw spells. We need to put the pressure on, so we're going to swing all of these at you. So this is a 5/5, a 5/5, and a 5/4. So we'll block the 5/4 with the 4/4 because that's the one that's giving lifelink, and then we'll take 10. We pass turn. Untap, we take a damage, draw a card, and then draw a card for turn. We're going to tap out, so that's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, to play the Chromatic Orrery. You may spend mana as though it were any color. You can tap it to make 5 mana. You can pay 5 and tap it to draw a card for each color among permanents you control. I'm then going to tap it for 5 mana of any color I want to play Serac Dragonclaw. Can't be countered, it's flash, we're not flashing it in. It's a 6/6, creature spells you control can't be countered, which is great, and other creatures you control have trample. We're not going to get in, and even if we swung, they would just take the 4 damage. But it would be commander, and conversely, we actually do have enough to recast Ramos again. So we might even block it. So we got a lot of great mana over here, but similar situations where they really can't do much. We're going to go ahead and pass. But of course now we've got the option of the extra combat, so we're kind of... Now we're not necessarily going to win, because unless we can play something, Ramos is only 4. So we draw for turn. It is a land. Fantastic. Comes in tapped, but hang on. We can pay 1, well, green, white, and then 2 others to tap the Gavony Township to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Yeah, so I'm going to tap 1 and tap the Nesting Ground to move a counter from a target permanent you control onto another target permanent. We're going to move a counter from the Fertilid onto Ramos. Then we're going to go ahead and tap this, remove 3 counters, take an extra turn after this one. So we're going to move to combat, swinging Ramos. Might as well just swing everything. So that's 6 commander in the air that you can't stop. Can't stop the Ramos. This is a 6/6. This is a 5/5. And this is a 3/4. We can totally block these 2. So Serac is a 6/6. He will die, but so will this thing. And then we've got, actually, no. Serac is an 8/8, haha. And this is a 4/4, so unfortunately that can't kill anything. So we would take 8 damage. And I think that's pretty much it, because then we go to our second turn, untap, upkeep, draw. Oh yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Loyal Guardian. It's a 4/4 trample at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you control your commander, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So we're going to tap this for 3 white, tap this for a green, and tap Gavony Township to put a counter on each creature you control. Then I'll tap 1 and tap Nesting Ground to remove a counter from Fertilid and put it onto Ramos. Then move to our combat. Everything gets a counter. Every creature I control gets a counter. This can't attack, but we swing the board. And that's 5. That's 9 in the air. That's all that matters. It's commander, but we're not going to worry about that. But boom! You can block. You can put these in front of those 2. They don't have trample. But yeah, you die. Kaboosh. There you go. Counters wins. I really do like the counters deck. It's with minimal attempts at trying to tweak it, it does pretty well. Basically, I just put every single card in it that made sense, that said, oh yeah, this puts a counter on things, and this, if you have counters, it does this crazy thing. But I think if I did try and tweak it a little bit more, like I said, to put some more card draw in it, to speed it up just a little bit, I think it could be a force to be reckoned with for sure. What do you think? What would you add to Ramos Dragon Engine to make it better? Or what would you take out? You can check out the Mox field that shows you all the cards in it on in the link inside of the description of the video. All of my decks are always there. You also get, it's the link tree, so you can get all my other socials and follow me all over the place. But I hope you enjoyed watching the episode. Hope you saw some cool cards. Appreciate you stopping by. Please subscribe, like, all that crap, and I will see you next time.